Kitchen. I am so excited to be back. I was off for a month and I was taking some restful time and I was spending time with family, but I just want to let you know that I'm excited to be back, and I'm back in my home today, and today I am going to show you how to do a tres leches cupcakes. Let's go right into the ingredients. I want to get this started. It's going to be absolutely delicious. Very first thing you're going to need is half a cup of softened butter, and this is unsalted butter. And then you're going to need 1.5 cups of sugar. You're going to need 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and I got some Mexican vanilla. You'll need real vanilla. And 4 large egg whites at room temperature. You're going to need 2 cups of flour. You're going to need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and you're going to need a teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and you'll need 1 1/3 cups of buttermilk. And I'm going to show you how to do it if you don't have buttermilk readily available. You'll need 1 can of evaporative milk. You'll need some coconut milk and some sweetened condensed milk. You will need 1.5 cups of whipping cream, heavy whipping cream. You'll need 1/3 cup of powdered sugar, and this is going to make the whipped topping for the top if you want to have it. You don't have to have it. But let's say you don't want to do this, you can go ahead and just get some whipped topping. You don't have to make it yourself. This is just for garnish. This is cinnamon powder, and we've got strawberries, and of course you will need to get these, the Reynolds foil baking cups. Okay, I've got 2 cups of flour in here. I've got 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and the 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm already getting it all combined together, and then we're going to set this aside and we're going to go ahead and do our wet ingredients, okay? I just want to let you know that this recipe calls for 1 1/3 cups of buttermilk, and I gotta be honest, I am going to a lot of markets and I cannot find buttermilk. It's becoming less and less readily available. So I just want to show you a quick trick that a lot of cooks do. I put 1 1/3 cups of whole milk in here, and all I did was squeeze 1/4 of a lemon. You just squeeze it right into the milk, and then you let it sit, and look at how cool. It starts to like curdle like buttermilk. So it's gonna be really cool. So that's a cool trick. I did not buy buttermilk, but I made my own, so you can do that too. The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to cream this butter, and I've already have it softened. We're going to put it in and we're going to cream it for maybe like 30 seconds. And then we're gonna add the sugar after this. So we're gonna cream it for about 30 seconds on high. Then we're gonna come back and put the sugar. So it's been 30 seconds. Now I'm going to put the 1 1/2 cups of sugar, and we want to get that till it's nice and creamy and mixed together. So we're gonna do that for about another 30 seconds also. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the 2 teaspoons of vanilla in. And then we're going to put about 2 egg whites, and then we'll put another 2 after this, and we're just going to keep letting it go till it's combined. So I'm putting the other 2 egg whites that I had at room temperature in, and it's almost done. And we're going to let that combine, and we're going to come back and add the dry ingredients. Okay, I've got all the flour mixture here, and it says to alternate some of the flour and then some of the buttermilk, and then just keep alternating, and we'll be back and it'll be all mixed. So it's all done, and this is what you want it to look like. Now you don't want to over mix it, and it smells wonderful, and you know why? Because I have Mexican vanilla from Mexico. So we are going to fill the tins. I've already got the little papers in here, and we're going to go ahead and fill, and I'm going to show you how much to fill because we do not want to overfill these. I'll be right back. I I've already got my cupcake tin filled with the foil lined papers. You've got to have these because when we put the leches, which is the milk, in here, we don't want it to leak through. If you don't have a metal one, it'll leak through. So these are really excellent for this cupcake. So now here we are. We're gonna go ahead and I have to show you really quickly how much you're going to fill them. You're only gonna wanna fill them about halfway. You don't want them to puff up too much because we want the milk, and I'm gonna show you in just a little bit, to stay in there. I'm gonna fill these up and go ahead and put your oven on to 350 right now, and we'll be right back. So this recipe makes 18 cupcakes, but guess what? I'm going to actually make a little tiny tres leches cake so that I can have it for my neighbor and I can bless somebody. So I'm gonna do a cake and the 12 cupcakes. They're going in the oven, and for about 17 minutes. I'm gonna leave them in there for about 17 minutes, and we're gonna check with a toothpick to make sure they're done, and I'll be right back. So while the cupcakes are in the oven, you're going to go ahead and make your tres leches, which means 3 milks together. And we're going to need 1 can of condensed milk, which I already have in here. You're going to need 2/3 cup of evaporated milk, and you're going to need 1/2 cup of the coconut milk, and I've already got it all combined here ready to go. So I just want to let you know that I already cooked a batch of cupcakes before I put those in the oven. So this is what we're going to show you. You're going to need to get, you don't have to, but some people use a fork and they poke it. But I found that these bamboo skewers that I got at the dollar store are really, really good. So what you're going to do is you're going to poke as many holes as you can in the cupcake, because that wonderful 3 milks is going to go in here and soak in there and just saturate this cupcake, and it's going to taste so amazing. So you're just going to keep poking as many holes as possible because you want all that wonderful milk to go in there. I've already poked these here, and these are getting ready to be, I'm gonna just show you what you're gonna do. You're gonna go ahead and you're going to have this, you're gonna press down. You're probably gonna do about two tablespoons per cupcake. You're just gonna kind of press down and try to get it in the holes. And that's what you're gonna do. And you'll put, that's 1 tablespoon. We'll probably come back and we'll let it soak and put some more. But I have some here that I have already. I put them in the refrigerator, and these are ready to frost. So I'm gonna go ahead and come back and show you how to do that whipped cream by scratch. So this is why it's really important that you don't want to fill it too much, because you don't want them too puffy, because you want the milk to be able to go down. Notice how easy this one is because it's not that fluffy, and the milk just stays right on the top and then just goes down to the sides. So you want to make sure you do not fill them too much, because you'll have to kind of try to press it down, and you don't want it to go over into the other side. So that's important. So I'm going over them again after I did 1 tablespoon. I'm putting about 2 tablespoons per cupcake. Now this is a big thing, and you're gonna have to do it to your preference. Now some people like their tres leches cake or cupcakes very soaked with lots of milk. Now some people don't want it that wet. They want it just a little bit and not a lot. So you know what? You're gonna have to pick what you want, your preference. Some people like a very, very moist cake, and some people don't want it that moist. So I'm just putting about 2 tablespoons per cupcake, but you can add more or less. It's gonna be up to you. So I will be right back. So after you get the milk on, I have these that have already been in the refrigerator. They've been in there for about a good 2 hours. So you wanna put them in the refrigerator to just get really cool and to let it soak and get moist. But I am going to come back and just show you how to frost these. But you know what, it doesn't matter. It's went down a little bit, but we like it nice and cold, and that's how you do it. It's beeping and they are done. I checked them, but I'm gonna let you see up close. It was at 17 minutes. And this is what you want to check. You want to put your toothpick in and it comes out perfect. It is done. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to get them and you're going to put them on a cooling rack right next. That's all you're gonna do is put them there because you want them to cool off just for a little bit. And then after they cool for a little bit, that's when you would start poking the holes, and I'll be back. We're almost at the finale and I can't wait to try them. They're so delicious and I'm going to show you how they look inside. But now we are going to make our whipped cream. Now I have this in the refrigerator. You don't have to, but it's nice when you have a really cold, because it needs to be really cold to make the whipped cream. And here's the whipping cream. You want to make sure you do pull this out at the very last minute. You do not want to take it out any sooner. So I'm going to measure this because it's supposed to be 1.5 cups, and I want to see if this container is actually 1.5 cups. There's 1 cup, and then there's a half. Okay, actually, this container is a little more, so good thing I measured it. I was going to guess. So we're going to get this started on high. You don't want to go too long here. I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. We're going high. So we're going to put a 1/3 cup of powdered sugar right under a 1/3 cup. But I want to make sure it's pretty smooth before we get it in there. It's just about done. So I'm going to stop this real quick. I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to go ahead and put the powder. Maybe, you know what, I'm going to do a little more. Because you can see it's almost whipping, and you don't want to go too far if you want it to stay whipped. Okay, yeah, it's looking better. I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to add that 1/3 cup of powdered sugar and the 4th teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, I just want to let you know it's all done. Look how beautiful this is. And we're going to use this to frost the tops. And it's going to taste really good. See how thick it is? Okay, I am using my pastry bag to decorate these. Now you don't have to. You can actually just use a spoon. But I am going to use my pastry bag. And oh my gosh, you should try this fresh cream. It tastes so good, and I just want to get some already. So I did those, and then I want to show you, like, if you don't want to, I just want to show you that you can just get some of this and put it on top like that. You know, if you don't have to have a pastry bag, if you don't want to, and just put some on top like this. I'll do 2 of them like that, and just put it on top. I'm going to show you just, you know, just cover the top like that. And so I got to show you the garnish. The garnish is your choice. Now, you can put, I've seen people put coconut, and I've seen people put strawberries. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I've cut some strawberries here, and we're just going to set them in there like that. Look how pretty. And you don't have to do this, but this is just a garnish if you want. And then I'm going to show you that you can also just sprinkle them with some cinnamon. And I will be right back because I can't wait to try one. Wrapping it up now. I just have to let you know. This cream that we just made homemade has to go in the refrigerator. And I already poked all the holes, remember, and put all the milk in these. This is going to go into the refrigerator. They stay in the refrigerator until you want to serve them. You can bring them out and let them come to room temperature or eat them just nice and cold, which I like. These right here that I just cooked, I'm gonna poke all the holes in them, fill them with the tres leches milk, and then put the whipped cream on top, and then put them in the refrigerator. But let's go here because I cannot wait. Now this one I already had left actually overnight. So you just need to leave them at least a couple of hours, but oh my gosh, I could feel the milk. You could even see it here. Oh my gosh. And I'm gonna cut this in half, and maybe you could see the inside. You're gonna see how moist it is. I don't know, but oh, you can. Do you see that? I don't know if you can see it, but I am gonna grab this one and I'm gonna eat it. Oh, it's soaked. I love it. I cut it in half because I wanted you to see the inside. And I can feel all the milk in there, and I can see it, and it's soaked, and I just want to let you know that I'm going to try it. I'm actually going to put a strawberry in my mouth. You can taste all the wonderful milks in there that's soaked in fresh cream, which is wonderful. And you can get a strawberry and eat it. You gotta make them. They're so delicious. I just want to let you know that you're probably thinking, what am I going to do with all that leftover milks that you made? And so I just want to let you know that I made some horchata. And so I am going to put some of that wonderful tres leches milks in there. You probably start with about 3/4 of a cup, maybe 3/4 of a cup to a cup. And I'm going to pour it in my glass. And I'm going to have some wonderful horchata. I want to thank you so much for spending time with me. I'm going to go right into the scripture, and I chose 2 John 5. And this is, I am writing to remind you, dear friends, that we should love one another. This is not a new commandment, but one we have had from the beginning. Love means doing what God has commanded us, and He has commanded us to love one another, just as you heard from the beginning. So it's not just a little thing just to say love. It's actually a commandment. God says you need to love. So keep that in your heart, that we are to love one another as God has commanded. And thank you so much. And guess what? I'm going to do something really exciting, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I will see you on the next Maria's Kitchen. Bye, and have a great day.